Why I love business, Quinton, is because it is the best personal growth journey I've ever undertaken.
Yeah.
That whenever there's a challenge, it gives you the opportunity to actually grow into someone who's bigger than that challenge. So, as a result, that's how your business grows. That the small stuff that used to sweat you out at the beginning doesn't sweat you out anymore.
Yeah.
And as a result, that means that you're now ready for more responsibility for your business to grow. And so to me, I believe that if you've got a big vision for your business, you're going to have growth. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have bad days. And instead of seeing them as setbacks and bad days, start looking at them as an opportunity for growth.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Marketing with Vino. You are tuning in to episode 16 with myself, Quinton, and the amazing Gabs. Welcome, Gabs.
Hey, welcome, Quinton, and hello, everybody. It's awesome to have you on the chat.
It's just amazing that these guys keep on showing up each and every time that we are releasing episodes, that they keep coming back. There must be something that they keep coming back for. So for that, guys, you will find it. Thank you for tuning in again.
Thank you so much. I think it's your kind, caring eyes, Quinton.
It must be the cartoon that we've drawn.
It must indeed. Oh goodness. It's wine time. The wine time. So just a quick disclaimer, please make sure that you join us for a glass of wine if you're not driving any heavy machinery. Otherwise, we've been told that this podcast is even better if you sit down, grab a glass of wine and join in the fun.
Yeah, I think that's what one of the members have been doing in the club. They've just been listening and absorbing all of it while joining a glass of wine. So I think you guys need to follow the trend.
That's it. This is where you get to learn and relax and be entertained at the same time. It's better than TV.
And you have permission to do it.
That's right. It's like, if your partner says, "What are you doing?" you can say, "Look, I'm working, honey." It's important that I get my education. I'm growing my business right now.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to share a few wins that we've reached episode 16. 16 is a bit of a milestone, especially when growing up. I mean, sweet 16. It is something.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we are celebrating that with a glass of wine. Thank you guys for making this possible. I think the journey so far has been absolutely amazing, but it hasn't always been amazing as it is right now. When I'm logging into the figures and I'm just seeing like download after download, like in the beginning it wasn't like that. In the beginning it was more so there is some downloads and some people consuming information, but it's now reached a critical mass point where it's beyond our normal our tribe. It's now gone beyond that, where it's now just people are rolling in and we are getting engagement. We're getting some new testimonials, some new ratings on iTunes. Hint, shameless pun, like slap right there, like guys, iTunes.
Shameless.
So yeah, we are getting more of that now, and that's motivating us more and more to do more of this and to share more gold with you. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. And honestly, it is incredible. It's so incredible to win. The truth of the matter is we don't always win that quickly and that easily. And one topic that, that most people don't talk about much is the not so fun times of growing business. I find that when I look at social media specifically, everyone's sort of talking about the winning of, the achievements of, being number one, getting X result, 80% conversions, making $1 million in this strategy, yada, 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 yada. And the truth of the matter is growing your business, yes, has beautiful wins where, you watch your clients get fantastic results. Like for Quinton and I, especially with this podcast, the dream with it was always to impact more people with our marketing than with our actual service.
Yeah.
You know, that we knew that we were limited to how many people we could help just with our business alone, and we had a pretty big mission. So for us, when we get feedback from people, emails and people posting up in the Marketing with Vino Club group, you know, telling us the cool stuff that's happening, oh God, it makes our heart sings. It's a beautiful time for us. You know, however, I know for myself that there's been times where, oh, look, you know, especially in early days, you do certain things and like you make some video blogs, and the truth of the matter is your mother and a few of your friends.
Go, son, go.
So, you know, it's your mother, your friend's mum, you know, saying all these beautiful things, and here you are putting a lot of effort in, and sometimes it just feels like ghost town. And so kind of wanted to have a chat because to me, marketing, you know, if you look at marketing as a quick fix, if you're after a quick pill, it's an attitude that's going to get you disappointed most of the time. Now, when it comes to quite a fair few marketing strategies, regardless of what they may be, even if it's joint ventures or like even if you go offline, but may it be, you know, building up a platform on social media, creating a retargeting list, whatever it is that you're doing, certain things can take a little bit of time for you to get a response. So we're very fortunate and lucky that this podcast took off like it did. You know, but it's not normal. Like, it's not like it happens all the time. Yes, there's some strategies that got us there. We shared them, I believe, in episode 3 or 4. But like you'll find it because the title actually tells you podcast strategy, so you can't go wrong. However, what I wanted to share was, you know, right now, if you're listening to this, and you know things have been a bit tough for you recently, I just want to let you know, I get it, you know, and I feel for you and just want to send you some love and to let you know it's completely normal to have bumps, to have setbacks, you know, to have things take a bit longer than they should, to feel like, oh shit, am I ever going to get a result with this? Yeah. You know, everybody else is just bragging about their wins. So I thought, you know what, screw it. Let's share some failures with you to help you and help you step out of that funk, because I promise you, you know, if you have a bad run, it's not because you're a loser or because you're failing. It's just the part of the game. It's because success is not a straight line upwards. It's a bit squiggly. You know, sometimes it may not even be business related. It could be family related, where you've got all this cool stuff happening and you're, you know, launching all these awesome marketing things, and then your health goes to poo. And all of a sudden you can't meet the deadlines and you're tired and you're unwell, or you know, someone in your family gets unwell, or something happens, you get divorced, or you break up with your partner, or whatever, you know. There's certain personal setbacks that happen to us in life. We're human as business owners. And so this is an episode where I really just wanted to say that if you've had some hard times, if you're currently going through them, I'm here and I feel you and know that you're in the perfect spot.
We've all gone through them. It's something that those challenges, they build up the next character. And regarding marketing, it's something that should be focused on, especially when you're starting out. Marketing and sales is the one thing that you should be focusing on. I remember this quote, and I'm going to quote it wrong, but it's something on the lines of businesses that stop marketing in order to save money. It's like someone stopping their watch to save time. It's basically the fuel to your company, and the money spent on it, if spent wisely, if invested wisely, is something that will generate the return to your company. And at times it doesn't go easy; it goes hard. And I also think it's where you're at in your business that at some stages you might not be focusing on marketing. You might just be focusing on servicing the handful of clients that you have and really delivering on that and making them feel so incredibly wowed and getting them the best results that they become raving fans, and they'll start doing the marketing for you. And maybe in a few months after that, once the project's finished or whatever it is that you do for them, that you can then start thinking about, all right, now let's start filling up this pipeline. but remembering that what you do needs to be something that's consistent, not something that is sporadical right now, and then 3 months later you're back at a dry pipe. You want to have that flow of clients coming in a way that is consistent for your month in out.
That's right. And look, this is the thing. So, one, if you've had some setbacks with your marketing, with your business in general, this is our message to you of you're normal. This is like, honestly, you are not special, you're normal, we all have that. Now, and it varies, it just varies from business to business. It could be problems with clients where you've taken on too many and now they're pissed off because you're not servicing them. Or it could be that, you've been focusing on other things and you haven't really been actively marketing, and so now all of a sudden you've got less clients. Whatever it might be, that's kind of, that can get you down sometimes. Understand you're not alone. Understand that this journey, see, why I love business, Quinton, is because it is the best personal growth journey I've ever undertaken.
Yeah.
That whenever there's a challenge, it gives you the opportunity to actually grow into someone who's bigger than that challenge. So, as a result, that's how your business grows. That the small stuff that used to sweat you out at the beginning doesn't sweat you out anymore.
Yeah.
And as a result, that means that you're now ready for more responsibility for your business to grow. And so to me, I believe that if you've got a big vision for your business, you're going to have growth. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have bad days. And instead of seeing them as setbacks and bad days, start looking at them as an opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, start asking yourself, how can I take responsibility for this? And what is the ultimate gift in this that if I was to find it right now would help me get to my ultimate desire?
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Quinton?
I can personally relate to that, and I'm going to become a little bit transparent and vulnerable here, that just recently with the agency as to how fast it's been growing, I reached a point where it was cool. Like I'm now starting to feel the friction, and it was very personal inside the business. But after speaking to Gabby, it became clear that every setback that you're experiencing, every challenge, every friction is basically the next opportunity to grow. And it is, if you allow that opportunity to come, you can grow through that. And for those of you listening right now, like overcoming that challenge didn't take that long. It was just a moment of accepting it and taking it that, yes, cool, I can take this next challenge on. Here's the building blocks to overcome it, and then going beyond that. But there is going to be times where the next think of it this way: those challenges that arise, they happen for you, not for anyone else, and they're there for a reason, and they will keep on happening until you overcome them. That if it is a staff member that constantly comes up in conversations, that it becomes a point where you should have that conversation with him and be comfortable with dealing with that matter and take ownership of it as the leader of the business, that this needs to be action. If you put it off for too long, it's going to keep arising and bigger problems are going to come from it that you have to deal with again and again. So personally, I can relate with this whole thing that times it gets ugly and you get a little bit down and you think like, oh shit, can I really do this? But take it as a moment for growth and push through with it, that there is the sun will come up. There's this old saying that I keep on thinking about. It is, even nature can't withstand storms forever. It is, even the biggest storms in nature will pass, and even this will pass as well. But it's just how you come out of it, that you just got to build upon the character that you are.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Like a great example with the staff. So if you're someone who has staff, or you're looking at moving into a model with staff, it all looks like, like roses and lollipops from the outside world. Oh, to have a business with staff so I can chill out and relax. The truth of the matter is, yes, it's where you create freedom. If you're the only person in your business, you don't really have a business, you have a job. You do need to incorporate people into your business so you can achieve the freedom that you desire. However, at the beginning, there's training, there's systemization, there's you learning how to lead. There's so many balls in the air that, of course, you're going to have some setbacks. And if you're the kind of person who looks at your staff and gets angry at them for not being proactive or for doing things wrong or yada yada, filling the blanks, you're looking in the wrong place. The first place for us to look is always back at ourselves as leaders. To me, as business owners, it is our responsibility, to make sure that we know how to lead well, to make sure that we know how to communicate well, and it takes something. Sometimes, at the beginning you don't want to say something because you don't want to hurt your staff's feelings, or, you have... So one massive shift that occurs for business owners with staff, the first one is always about letting go, meaning that giving the staff responsibility, even though you can do it better.
Yeah.
And it's like this kind of like, what you really want to do in that moment is, it's like you're handing over your candy bar to a friend and they grab it, but you haven't let go.
Yeah.
So there's this like, oh, you have it, but you're not letting it go. And just in that, there's this call to step outside your comfort zone. It's uncomfortable. You get tight butt because you're like, oh, I don't like you could even find yourself wanting to micromanage or whatever at the beginning. Once you pass that hurdle and you've let it go and you've let them do stuff and you've actually started to go, oh, I've got more time and freedom. I can sleep and visit my friends and spend some time with. Then your whole world's stretched, meaning you'll never be the same again. The growth opportunity there is beautiful. That's why I love business, because the growth opportunities in the who you are, the problems you had a year ago are ones that you don't even think about anymore. Does that make sense?
100%. I'm thinking about when I started the agency, the challenges that I was thinking about back then. I don't have them anymore. It's the next set of challenges. It's the next level, and you will experience these challenges. Like I was saying, they happen for you, for a certain reason, and they're there to help you grow to the next level.
They truly are.
Yeah.
Like
and the more of these challenges that you can do on a quicker basis, like making hard decisions, taking action, and really letting these challenges come to you, the quicker you will grow as well, because the more you will experience, the more things you will learn. And yeah, exactly.
And so to me, like I understand that there's always an opportunity for growth. And, there's a really cool question. Actually, I learned this from Tony Robbins. Just a bit of a shout out to him. And he said, I probably already mentioned it in another podcast, but what? Repetition is the master of skill. But it was, what if life wasn't happening to you? What if life was happening for you?
Yeah.
And in business, I really do believe that when you've got a big why, it happens for you. It really does. It happens for you to grow to the next level, for you to become the person you need to become, to have everything that you want, to fulfill your mission, to fulfill your why, And so every journey is going to have its own things. Like once as a business owner with staff, once you've gone over the hurdle of letting go and letting them take care of, certain things and letting them now master that to the level where you're at, then other problems kick in. Then all of a sudden, the next set of problems is, which you could have, is that staff can be a little bit too comfortable, can argue amongst themselves, can be not proactive, so to speak. There's other issues that can arise. And then you've got to step up and be the right person in order to hold a space to deal with that. And to be honest with you, the best metaphor I've ever found for this is looking at business in the sense that you're the king, but you want to be a good king. You're the king of the kingdom. And, when you think of good kings and bad kings in stories, what makes up, honestly, Quinton, to you, what makes up, a shit king?
Shit king, the one that is greedy, wants to keep everything for themselves, and doesn't really care about the farmers of the village. Someone that is just there, that it's me, and won't take any action themselves. They'll always have the other person doing it. That will make up a shit king.
Yeah, it's like, whipping the person That's minimum wage, whipping you,
Yeah.
having you be in absolute fear. So it's keeping the whole kingdom in fear and scarcity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look at an amazing king. The kind of king that you remember, the kind of king that that you want to know, that you want to be, that that you'd want to have be your king. What makes up an awesome king for you, Quinton?
The one that is others focused, the one that would actually go down to the villages, to the markets, to the people, and really be amongst them. That they are living in mud and in filth. That he would walk amongst them, and for another king that would be involved with decision making, and really. The one that would be self-focused is the one that will only go so far, and the one that's others-focused, he will actually build an empire for people that will go beyond and above to actually achieve the outcome that the kingdom wants to fulfill.
Exactly. You want to look at yourself as the king of your little kingdom, and take on being a noble, a humble, a good king that strives to lead its people really, really well, that thinks for its people, that we are, it's almost like looking at it like we are the servants of our market, our clients, and our staff. Our staff depend on us to feed them. We need to make sure our business is rocking so they can get paid, so they can actually pay their mortgage and look after their kids.
Yeah.
They are not the part of the planet that you're in, meaning that you make up that small percentage of the world that, you had the courage to back yourself in this, to live in the unknown. They don't. To them, like, they couldn't do what you do. And in that comes responsibility. In that it's be the king of your kingdom. Always be looking at how can I serve more, how can I lead better? How can I inspire these people to greatness?
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's, to me, the really amazing king is a true alpha. Now, what do I mean by alpha? When you actually look at wolves and the way they function,
Yeah.
when you look at wolves and the way that they function, the alpha wolf inside the pack, yes, he gets fed, yes, he gets taken care of, but when shit comes to shove, when there's danger, he's the first one out there protecting the pack.
Yeah.
So to me, a business owner needs to be that kind of king where, we are protecting our staff. So we think of what's best for them. And therefore, if you really go deep on that, you want your staff to grow too. Meaning that you want to give your staff the opportunity to grow, which means you're going to have to be okay with your staff stuffing up at times while they're growing, because that's what a true leader does. And in that, in that, as you grow, as you release these things, what you find is you get bigger, you get better. Before you know it, your business is where you want it to be because you embraced.
Yeah.
You actually embraced the challenge and embraced the growth.
I was actually surprised as to how quick these personal growths happen once you actually let go. It literally happens almost overnight. That the moment you've made that decision to let someone else take over and give them the trust, that you can actually then start developing yourself into another area. And that happens quick. Like literally from the moment that Gabby and we had that conversation, it took a moment of a couple of days and everything was up on another track, and the culture of the business was back to where it was before, if not better. And that's the great thing about this, that you as the king need to take leadership, need to take ownership. A great book for this is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I probably said his name wrong, but the book goes about Navy SEALs teaching their leadership abilities for business. And in one of the stories, it basically goes about extreme ownership. What does it actually mean? And extreme ownership means that you take sole responsibility, not just for your own actions of what you've done, but also for everyone else. That if they've stuffed up, then you haven't done enough as a leader to make sure that they don't stuff up. And that's the key thing about when you are building your kingdom, that the farmer down the road that has made a mistake with a trade or whatever, it basically comes down to you again. That you haven't you haven't put down your leadership to the next subordinates and to the follow people down there to be able to make sure that those things don't actually happen. And you need to view that in the same thing in your business. Take extreme ownership that if the designer stuffs up or if this person stuffs up, it is your responsibility and you need to take control of that.
Spot on. Honestly, it's just last weekend I ran an event for my first class members and we're talking about this exact same thing. With great freedom, there's great responsibility. Absolutely great responsibility. We think, I'm going to get a business. I want the lifestyle. I want to be able to sip margaritas all day long. To be honest with you, you'd get bored shitless, I promise you. But aside from that, the truth of the matter is, yes, you get yes, you get the freedom. Yes, you get choice. Yes, you've got time, you've got money, you've got opportunity, you've got choice again. Sure, you can't go out with you can't have enough choice. However, on the end of it, there is great responsibility for you to step up, for you to grow. And we're chatting on the weekend because a couple of them had said that they just faced some personal challenges, and there was this conversation of you can't help sometimes, but to sort of find yourself going, why me? What did I do? If you find yourself in a situation where some crap's going on in your business and you're pointing the finger at the world and saying, why me? Pointing it and trying to find blame elsewhere, all we ask is that you point it back at yourself, start looking at where you can be responsible for it. The conversation we had about this on the weekend was phenomenal because at the end of it, we realized all of us are growing. We all have a big destination to get to. And if we're not willing to take responsibility for the small stuff, we don't deserve the big stuff.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. It kind of reminds me of kids that they think that once they grow up, they're going to have all of this freedom. But little do they know that with freedom comes responsibility. That in order to have freedom, you need to take on responsibility. At the moment, if you want to leave home, you need to take on responsibility of paying bills or getting a place or buying your own food. If you think you're going to have freedom by living at home, you're actually giving up responsibility and you're being chained by living under another person's rules and roof. So it actually comes in business as well that if you are just a normal employee, you don't have a lot of freedom because you don't have a lot of responsibility. If you want more freedom, you've got to take on a lot more responsibility.
But it's okay because by the time you get there, you don't see it as responsibility. It's
Not
just
at all,
honestly,
yeah.
This is no, because the thing is, you become the person that just it's no big deal to you. It doesn't feel like It definitely doesn't feel like the first time you moved out of your home and realized, oh my God, my mum did so much for me.
That's when you send the cards and you send her a message and you give her a call.
Oh, you do. You call us, Mum. I love you so much. Oh, it's too funny. But guys, honestly, just to wrap this up, we all have challenges. I've got plenty. I still remember, because we've been talking about staff in this episode, I still remember training some of my first staff years ago. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was not a great boss. To be honest with you, I was an asshole. I was a bit of a bully. I'd get pissed off with them. I'd demand stuff. I hate to admit it, but I wasn't the greatest person because to me, I was always proactive. I got shit done instantly, and when they didn't, it had me kind of turn into a bit of an ogre. Unfortunately, the impact on them was that they were fear-driven. They produced even less results, and I had to grow up. I had to really grow up, and it's what had me look into leadership and understand the psyche of human beings and take myself from industrial age to modern age. But I share this because, I really did, I hurt them. And now, as a result, I stand for the fact that people need to respect their staff, and to grow amicably, gracefully, embrace the fact that you're a king is our message today.
Totally. Well said. Love it.
And to continue this conversation, we'd love to invite you to go to marketingwithvino.com, join Marketing with Vino Club, which is a place where we get to hear back from you. You get to tell us what you think, your feedback, and ask us questions and get some direct assistance with your business.
It's basically a place where we can practice our listening skills because we just seem to be talking so much. So yeah, guys, we'd love for you guys to come and join the club, marketingwithvino.com. Join the club. One of our amazing legends will approve your request and you'll be welcomed with Vino, maybe.
Woohoo! Maybe. Well, it'll be virtual Vino. Virtual Vino for everybody. I'm shouting. Thank you, Quinton. It's been rocking hanging out with you and everyone on the just listening to this. Thank you. We love you. We're so rapt to have you a part of our community. Please join the even further community with Marketing with Vino Club and say hi. Reach out. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Gabs. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye.
Good night.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.